This week on the Game Marks podcast, we fire up the PlayStation 2, literally, when we play Fire Pro Wrestling Z. How does this huge roster fare in the Fire Pro world? Will we play it forever or future endeavor?
You're fired!
All this plus Clash at the Feast. Plug in and put on those nostalgia goggles because this week's Game Marks podcast starts now. And now, the Game Marks.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast. I am the man who apparently needs a new moniker. The man with no name, George Feast.
And I'm the man they call Johnny Clash. And today we are playing Fire Pro Wrestling Z for the PlayStation 2.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we love to hear from you. So please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and make sure to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you choose to listen and join in on the conversation on all forms of social media at Game Marks Pod. Now, John, usually this is the part where we do a little bit of follow-up from last week. We'll get to that. But first, I'm kind of mad at you.
What'd I do this time?
What the hell did you do to last week's episode? What do
you mean?
I get 2 weeks ago, you swapped my music for Kelly's music. That was kudos.
It took you long enough to notice.
That was funny. I get it. I listened. I
didn't swap yours last week because I won.
What the hell was that weird audio thing?
I thought you went in and did that because I uploaded the podcast to the Podbean account and
I
thought you went in and changed it when you put the artwork. Yeah.
No.
So someone's messing with our stuff or a file got in there accidentally. I don't know, but I re-uploaded it and it's still there. So you tell me.
I don't know. I'll figure that out. Hopefully something like that doesn't happen this week because I legitimately
Great content here.
I legitimately thought you were messing with me, and I got mad because I was like, this one doesn't even make sense. I get it. You want to change my music for something else. That's funny. But this just, makes us look bad. And I was just like, all right. But if you say it wasn't you and it wasn't me, then maybe we're getting trolled by internet memes or something. I don't know. But
well, I told you not to make the password Mr. Play It Forever, so...
Listen, man.
Anyway, Mr. Play It Forever. Follow-up from last week, we played Shin Nippon Pro Wrestling Tokan Retsudan. How you feeling?
Yeah. In a rare move here...
No.
Gonna be putting on the old flip-flops here.
No.
So last week, played this game, ended up future endeavoring it on the episode, but... all this week, I've been playing the game, and I had a lot of fun, and I actually regret my decision. So,
what?
If you will let me, I would like to swap my vote, because it was one of those games, actually, that even when you weren't there, and I was just playing solo, I still had a ton of fun playing the game,
If that was your whole argument against it, that it wasn't fun by itself and only fun playing with someone, I'll let you do it this one time, but I'm going to put an asterisk next to it because this would make 4 weeks in a row we hit Play It Forever on the game. So
yeah, I mean you can put a little asterisk next to it, let it be known that I flip flop. But man, by Thursday of last week, I was like, I kind of feel like I messed up here.
Personally, I also have been like, how can I play this game without George? Like not saying oh, I don't want to play with you, but we would have to get all our stuff together and get all our equipment ready. But I just wanted to play it, but I couldn't. So
I want to do this really quick, just because we're about to talk about something that's very exciting, very near and dear to our hearts. So we're going to start with that.
A little airy right there.
Yeah, but Johnny, do you know what time of year is coming up real soon? As I take a little Nick Stap sip from my beverage.
It is. You done?
Yeah, it's the Nick Stap sip.
We are closing in on Gameboree 2020, and we are coming up with something, I would say, a little simpler than last year, with this, hopefully, a bigger outcome. Because last year we were able to raise over $800 for St. Jude, We were able to donate a box of games to Cohen's Children's Medical Center. This year, I want to go bigger. This year, I want to go better. This year, if we can, I want to deliver consoles to them. I want to deliver games to them.
Johnny wants to get a tattoo this year.
I want to raise all the money in the world. We are working out the details. We are dotting the T's and crossing the I's, and we will get back to you next week with the details. And, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Trying to do the math on that one. Yeah, you're on a roll. Keep going.
It's coming, guys, and we are looking for your support in every aspect. We are going to annoy the crap out of you with Gameboree once again, just to make it bigger, just to make it better. We're going to do our marathon streams, and we are going to make this one to remember.
Cannot wait. Super excited. Last year was amazing. It was, probably... I think
it felt good.
I think I even said this last year. Like when we started this podcast, we never thought that we would have a platform to do something like this, and to be able to do what we were able to do and raise that much money in our first year of having a podcast. The subsequent years after that only have to be bigger and better. With I'm very excited for Gameboree 2020. What we have planned.
But guys, this is the last week where you can win a free WWE Steel Cage Challenge plug and play by just leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, screenshotting it, and sending to us on Twitter at GameMarksPod. So you can win something for free by literally sitting here listening to this podcast right now, or another podcast, or you could just pick up your phone and do it, or on your computer. It's that simple, and you could have it for free.
Now, in addition to the free giveaway, you and I also did a little bit of a Among Us stream on Twitch. And
that was a lot of fun.
And with that came the opening of our official Discord server. Now, if you want to be a part of that Discord server, all you have to do, there's two links for you to use. There is the link that is on our Twitch page. That is twitch.tv/GameMarksPod. There will be our link tree, which you can find on our Twitter account. And special third way, secret bonus third way, the link is also available on our website, GameMarksPod.com. Now in there, find some wonderful things that we've put together for you, some different text discussion channels. You've got some game lobbies, you've got some Among Us lobbies, and of course, you've got your humble hosts, George and Johnny, and they're hanging out, taking part. Oh, yes. Hanging out, taking part in all of the chats. Please join the Discord. We would love to have you guys in there. Be a part of the games, be a part of the discussion. Join the Game Marks Pod official Discord today.
That was fun. We played Among Us with a bunch of the listeners. A bunch of our friends hopped in. We had a full lobby. We were going. We also made other chat channels for music, for movies, for console gaming, PC gaming, and they've been going. It's a lot of fun just hearing people's opinions on certain music, certain things, and it's getting very interactive. So guys, hop on. Like we said, it's on our website. We're making a link. It's called Discord. Just click it and you're invited.
Yep. But absolutely, absolutely, Johnny. And with that, I say we go and throw it over to some gaming news. Are you looking to get a better grip on life? How about your video games? Well, VGF Gamers are the largest silicone gaming brand in the USA. They have a variety of different and unique skins for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One controllers and consoles. Check out their products at VGFgamers.com and use code GameMarks to receive 15% off your order at checkout. That's GAMEMARKS at checkout. VGF Gamers. Better grip, better style.
Though he remains a free agent and is no longer under contract with the WWE, Brock Lesnar is back in the UFC. In a video game, of course, when EA Sports announced The Beast would be added to the EA Sports UFC 4 video game roster. Brock Lesnar has not appeared in a UFC licensed game since EA Sports UFC in 2014. His character boasts a 4-star rating, with his best stats being in the grappling and striking. So if you want to be the Beast incarnate, now is your chance this week to pick it up in the PlayStation Store. Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales is set to release on PlayStation consoles in a few weeks, and Marvel will promote the new release with a set of video game-inspired variant covers. The variants will be available for Amazing Spider-Man number 53, 53LR, 54, and Miles Morales Spider-Man 21. All 4 issues will release in November, and 4 variants will be available in total. The cover will feature art from Tim Sang, Jason Hickey, Gavin Goulden, and Nicholas Schumacher. The 4 variant covers feature all new art of Miles and the Tinkerer. George, this one's for you. Hideo Kojima's next game could be revealed soon. Last November, Kojima released his first game since he left Konami and the Metal Gear Solid behind, which was Death Stranding. In 2020, Hideo Kojima is hard at work on his next project. Taking to Twitter, Ludwig Forsell, the composer and audio director at Kojima Productions, shared a photo of a recent orchestral recording, which according to Forsell is for an upcoming unannounced game. Further, if you look closely, you could see Hideo Kojima present in the photo. And that's all the gaming news we have this week. Check back next week.
Well, talking about Hideo Kojima, I had sent you earlier in the week something that I planned on watching on my second monitor during my workday, and I finished it today, this morning. What okay. I'm talking about is the 12-hour movie of every Metal Gear Solid game combined.
Yeah, see, this was not something I was going to do.
It just reinforced that it is one of the greatest game series of all time. It's so awesome. So cool. I can't speak highly enough of it. It was awesome. The video, if there's any interest, hit us up on Twitter and I'll post the link. But it was awesome. Very excited.
Cool. Yeah, that's your cup of tea. I'm not that into it. I'm not taking away anything from the game. I know it is amazing. It's just not my type of game. But with that, George, what do you say we throw to the question of the week? Game marks while you sit there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you possibly can be. I want you to listen to me. I want you to digest this because I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I don't hate you, Marks. But the Game Marks podcast have their own pro wrestling tee store. Brace yourself because the Game Marks podcast are now on Pro Wrestling Tees with original design to let everyone know if you will play it forever or a future endeavor. Head on over to ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod and get your tees today. Hey Nick Stapp, how you doing?
Now, John, normally this is where I explain what the question of the week is, but before we do that, I couldn't help but notice that you're wearing a Butcher and the Blade shirt.
Yes.
And I am wearing my Marilyn Monroe Warrior shirt, which are available at Pro Wrestling Tees. But you know who else has a Pro Wrestling Tees store?
Who? Who, George?
The Game Marks podcast, which you just heard Johnny talking about. But are you wearing the soft shirt right now?
I only buy the soft shirt. Okay. They hold up so much better in the wash machine. They feel better. They don't stiffen up. I think every other shirt I bought that wasn't soft, that was just regular, a couple washes, they're stiff and like they just feel awkward. Like I have the Stone Cold Attitude shirt with his blood dripping down his face. It looks like a child's shirt now, and I have to cut the sleeves off, wear them to the gym. Like I want to, this is a nice shirt. This is my boy Andy Williams. Every time I die.
I think you just want a reason to cut them off and wear it to
that too. But like I want these shirts to last.
Oh yeah,
these are my work shirts now because we're not in the office. So
I feel like we don't talk enough about how amazing the soft fit tees and just like the overall quality of everything is at Pro Wrestling Tees. Like we don't put them over enough.
Not only that, but we also have our TeePublic store, which you could also find on our website, and those shirts naturally come this soft, which is awesome, and the prints are top quality. So check those all out if you guys like soft t-shirts. And it's $3 to upgrade your shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees. Trust me, it's worth it.
It's absolutely
changed my life.
Definitely worth it. But all right, with that, let's jump back in So the question of the week is a weekly segment where we go back and forth and ask each other questions, and then we like to propose the question to you, our listeners. And then you let us know your answers on any form of social media at GameMarksPod. Last week, Johnny had the very creative question of, if you could make any household chore a video game, what would it be? And yeah, we got some answers.
We certainly did. Our boy Justin Leeper said, I just want to be a floss hero, man. Is that too much to ask? I could picture it, though, like a little flash game on like E-Bombs World, just flossing teeth.
Yeah.
Brett Van,
like
he was in our... Brett Van, he was in our Discord chat. He said, dude, House Flipper is so much fun.
My imposter partner.
It does, yeah, that's true. You guys ran amok. He said, dude, House Flipper is so much fun. Cooking sims are the best, though. I love games like Cook, Serve, Delicious, and even the game straight up called Cooking Simulator. And our boy Elder Spork said, Roofing Simulator VR have to be quick, efficient, and not fall off the roof. I like that one.
I like that. That sounds like a challenge.
Now, here's a twist.
Swinging your hammer while maintaining your balance. I like that.
Put your hammer away. Throwback to last week when we talked about home improvement. What if you fall off the roof and you become Tim Allen as the Santa Claus? Brain explode. George, what's your question for me this week? Get that look off your face.
I'm glad you skipped that because I was right about to. All right. So this week's question, I don't really know where it came from, but I realize it's probably the simplest question, and I don't think we've ever talked about it. So my question for you, John, and for everyone is, what's your favorite all-time finisher?
Oh, finisher.
We've talked about wrestlers. We've talked about entrance musics. We've talked about so many different aspects. I don't think we've ever talked about what your favorite finisher is.
Man, okay. I could watch like 450s all day, Canadians all day, just because they're so like intriguing. I'm going to have to go with the Swanton Bomb, though. Like, that was the move as a kid, like, I wanted to do. I emulated on the couch multiple times, onto my beanbag chair, on a trampoline. It was just flawless when Jeff did it. It looked so cool. He did it off... I watched today some old TNA videos of him doing it off the set, off the stage. Oh, my God, WrestleMania, doing it off the ladder. Yeah, hands down, Swanton Bomb. That's it.
All right.
And what about you? I think I know what yours is going to be, but let's see.
So I know that you're expecting me to say the Falcon Arrow. Because I say
I'm not, but
in every conversation that if I was
I know you're better than that.
If I was ever a wrestler, that I would make my finisher the Falcon Arrow. But my finisher, number one, all-time favorite, I pick it in every game that has ever been, and don't think I'd ever, if I ever, tomorrow I become a wrestler, I don't think I'd ever want to give it, and I don't think I'd ever want to take it. But I'm going to go with the Burning Hammer.
Okay, I've taken one.
It doesn't look fun. It looks like even just the setup looks awkward and like you're like all sorts of like your equilibrium's all kind of off balance, and the bump itself looks awful. Just no part about it looks fun. And I mean, you could definitely shed some more light on that, but it looks like it fucking kills the person, which makes for a great finisher. And it's why I've always picked it in any video game.
So these are ours, but I think I have to say the greatest finisher of all time has to be the Stone Cold Stunner. Just because you've never seen a move get a pop like the Stunner. No matter where, no matter who. I mean, obviously, Stone Cold doing it, the roof blows off the place. But that's not a game. I just never felt right, like, picking it in a video game.
Oh, yeah. It's like picking like the People's Elbow at the rock bottom, which I think arguably could be on that same level. Like, arguably the two most popular wrestlers in in their generation. Like, you see, when you see like the sports team celebrating or something like that. Didn't Khabib just do it at one of the training seminars? He hit the rock bottom and
hit
the rock bottom, dropped the People's Elbow. Like I feel like the Stunner, People's Elbow, rock bottom, like that.
I'm putting the RKO in there too.
RKO also, like all of these moves that had just become like, what's the word? Like cultural, like they've transcended wrestling. They just become like these cultural phenomenons. Like I love Triple H. I love Ric Flair. people when people emulate Ric Flair, no one's doing the figure four. They're
No.
cutting promos.
No, but all right, cool. I like that one. That was a good one. We never really discussed that. There used to be a finisher in the old SmackDown vs. Raw games when you used to be able to create a finisher.
Oh yeah.
I used to set the guy up like an outsider's edge, but then flip him over my head into like an X Factor while doing like a 360. I think people got really annoyed with that one online.
Is it? Wait.
Yeah, over the head.
then
Somehow their arms are now on a hinge. They go forward into it.
Isn't that Lance Archer's thing?
Not really,
backwards.
but kind of.
Lance Archer's backwards.
Yeah, plus a 360 while spinning
Oh,
in the air.
wait. It's a front flip and a 360?
Yeah, like you're spinning while you do it.
Dude, your moves are defying the laws of physics here. Like, that's so
That-
much
didn't
overbite.
everyone's in that? Like, you play one game online, a guy would hit you with like 6 super kicks in a row, followed by a stunner. You're still standing.
I'm pretty sure
take
you
a
could make
twist
the
of fate.
630 in that game.
Yeah,
And,
you
like,
could do
You were like, oh my
stupid
god,
stuff.
how is anyone going to do 630? And then Ricochet is like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?
Yeah, no, I hate all these games.
Human
what,
video
what do you say we take the plunge right now? Because I'm getting a little worked up and I need another beer.
All right, let's do it.
Hey guys, Johnny here. While we love talking about video games and wrestling here on the podcast, we wanted to share with you a new offer from our friends at Stitcher. An enormous amount of shows and bonus episodes are available on Stitcher Premium, such as Office Ladies, Comedy Bang Bang, WTF with Mark Aaron, How Did This Get Made, Bitch Sesh, True Crime Garage, Marvel's Wolverine, and plenty more. Right now, you could sign up for Stitcher Premium for only $4.99 a month or $34.99 a year using our code GameMarksPodcast. That's all one word. Head on over to Stitcher.com/premium for this amazing deal and a free month. That's Stitcher.com/premium and use code GameMarksPodcast. That's all one word. Game on, Marks.
All right, so Fire Pro Wrestling Z released June 5th, 2003 for the PlayStation 2, published and developed by Spike. And now this is the 7th version of the Fire Pro Wrestling series from Spike. Now the first Spike version was on the Wonder Swan, which Johnny talked about last week in 2000. I mean,
we're gonna have to look more into this Wonder Swan, aren't we?
First thing that jumps out to me, I want to talk about it immediately. How great was it to play a Japan exclusive game that also had English like menu options? It was like the Japanese text, and then right under it, really small, the English text. I was like,
not on everything, but on like the menus at least, which made it so much easier.
Good. The wrestlers, no shot, not happening.
Yeah. But you loaded it up, and I was like, oh my god, we're going to have to take out. Oh, no, we're good. It says it right there. One fall match. We're good.
It's pretty impressive. Pretty, fun surprise. Now,
I just want to say
yeah,
that this is only the third ever Fire Pro game I've ever played. I played Fire Pro Returns with you on this podcast, and
that was your first Fire Pro game ever.
Yes. I would like to I think I played that with a little bit of tunnel vision. I wouldn't mind going back and doing something with it again, where I could come in with an open mind, like
maybe a little Game Beret.
Maybe, yes. As I've written in my blog on our website, Clash and Burn, check it out. There were reasons why I didn't like the Fire Pro series, and it came down to everyone in your ear like, Fire Pro's the best game. You'd be like, hey, did anyone check out the new WWE? It'd be like, Fire Pro's the best. Fire Pro's the best. You're like, okay, relax. It's the same thing when you used to be like, oh, you guys play Fortnite? You want to play Fortnite tonight? No, PUBG is better. It's like, okay, relax. I'm playing this, though. You could play that, though. So I kind of got sick of hearing that. So
yeah, all right. I understand that.
We got bad reviews because of that one episode. And that's when I was like, okay, maybe I need to, like, open my eyes here a little bit. If I'm going to do this podcast, I need to play each game like on neutral playing ground, and that's what I've done. I now play Fire Pro World on the regular. I enjoy it. I've updated my gear because I got a haircut and I got new gear. So Johnny Clash will be updated in the store. But this being my third Fire Pro game ever, they kept the same mechanics. It's all very similar. They don't change much each iteration, but there's still something about each game that separates it. I like it.
Yeah, and there's like there's those what did you say? Oh, in one of our matches, or the first match that we played, you're like, oh, I know this song. Because like
it's the same song,
it's the
for the
same
match.
Song. Like it's something that like it. Some people will look at it and be like, oh, that's annoying, that's boring. Like I wish that they had new music.
No, I like that.
But as a series, that's what I was gonna say. Like as a series, it's cool to know that like
continuity.
Yeah, and not even that, just like, you played this game as a kid, you stopped playing video games, like, maybe you played Fire Pro Returns, then you went to college, you didn't have time to play video games as much, then you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, you get married, you have kids, and then like years later you're like, you know what? Fire Pro World came out, looks really good. I'm gonna pick it up. It's the same fucking song. Like it blows my mind that we have to go back and check. I don't know if it's the same song in Fire Pro Returns, but for argument's sake, from 2003 to 2020, it's the same song. That's so awesome.
And what we're talking about is the actual match song. I think it was a little tweaked, but it was there. The meat and potatoes were there.
Like it's probably like a remastered version for each iteration of the game, like for that era. But it's cool. Continuity is a good word that you used.
Yeah. So for me, I said I was going to play Fire Pro to kind of like get familiar. It's probably been a couple weeks since I played Fire Pro because I got way back into Warzone and I can't be stopped. And so I fired it up and I was like, all right, let's play a few. Let's get reacclimated with this game for when I play this game with George. And I was like, all right, it's going to be different because this is a modern game and I'm going to go back almost, 17 years? And I'm going to play an older game. I think it's going to, the mechanics might be there, might be a little off, but no, we started playing this game. The mechanics are exactly the same. The timing's the same. The moves are the same. The way you do the moves are the same. The only thing I was missing was the move list to see which your finishers actually were. Because, like, say I played as Okada earlier in World, I didn't realize that to do the Rainmaker, it was from the back. So then I started doing the back special. Like, stuff like that you kind of have to figure out.
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff is also part of like the translation from Japanese console to American console, like in the simplest terms, the difference between the circle and the X button, or it's switched in Japan and America. So,
Oh yeah, how many times I screw that up?
I mean, a couple, but
I'm sorry. Wait, we actually played another one, which was Super Fire Pro Wrestling All-Star Dream Slam, which was the all-women's game.
Oh.
And that was the first one I hit Play It Forever on.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one, that was my turning point into the Fire Pro series, where I was like, okay, maybe I can like this.
See, I have this thing where, and this is, I have to break myself of it, but it is 1000% your fault. Any game that involved females, I immediately removed it from my mind because you ruined all of them by, just
so you're
being
saying we should play Rumble Roses and be like, okay, so I think the vertical suplexes are really nice in this game. Let's just ignore the bounce physics that are in this game and let's talk about the ring ropes for a second. No, we're not doing that if we're playing Rumble Roses.
Listen,
Cutie Suzuki was made for the same reasons.
Wait,
I stand by it.
Sidebar question to all the listeners, because I know that we're going to get some good responses. So Rumble Roses walks that line of being a wrestling game. It's like
that's one way to say it.
So I want to know, does Tekken count as a wrestling game because King and Armor King are wrestlers? Does Super Smash Brothers Ultimate count because Incineroar is a wrestler?
No.
I ask the questions because I want answers. It's not I'm saying it because I want to play it. I just want to know where we cut the list off for games to play. Because I will happily play Tekken. I love the Tekken series. And there's wrestling aspects in the Tekken series. But if we're not saying that they're wrestling games, then that's fine.
But then, do we play Soul Calibur? Do we play Mortal Kombat?
There's no wrestling. There's no wrestling aspect in Mortal Kombat. There's no wrestling aspect in Soul Calibur.
Like, we played UFC, but I feel like that's just a wrestling parallel, like in the real world,
That's
not
what
just
I'm
a
saying.
video game.
But now do we have to play? Do we play every UFC game?
Yes. Yeah, I'll
would-
selfishly say yes.
I would love to, because I am, and even when we play the Fire Pro games, I'm always like, hey, you want to do the ultimate mode? You want to do the ultimate UFC mode? Like, let's do it.
Gruesome.
I'm all for it. But okay, I digress. Let us know on social media what you think. If wrestling adjacent games count as actual wrestling games, or games with wrestling aspects in it count as wrestling games. But back to Fire Pro Wrestling.
Are we going to play Spider-Man on PlayStation? Like, I mean, Bonesaw's in there.
Yeah, but you can't play as Bonesaw.
You play that part of the match.
I know,
like, you
but,
play the match
but
in the
it
game.
has to be where, like, both of us... First of all, that game's not 2-player, so we can't play that game.
Wrestling aspects.
All right, well, your main menu options as this game...
All right, see ya.
I already said we're going back to Fire Pro Wrestling Z, and you jumped in with Bonesaw, so...
All right.
Johnny Clash may be ready, and Bonesaw may be ready, but George Feast is ready to get back to Fire Pro Wrestling Z. The main menu options, you have one night match, one night tournament, you have your open league, which is your round robin tournament format. You have your elimination match, which is like your Survivor Series style. You have your battle royal mode, which is just 8 people in the ring battling at the same time.
Oof, I just did one of those in Fire Pro World. It is chaos.
I believe it. You have Victory Road, which we will touch on a little bit later. You have your title match, which is you are able to have a title match, view the championship history. You can erase the belt data with title surrender, and you can edit the belts, which is cool, and a feature that really didn't get into the WWE style games until, I want to say, like, way later.
Yeah, that's something I actually got into a little bit for a while.
Yeah.
Those are kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you also have your edit mode, where you can edit your wrestlers, story mode, your save and load data, and, of course, options. Now, Johnny, why don't you take us through the game types? Because I really I want to hear your thoughts and descriptions on all of them, because we played pretty much all of them.
All right, so you have your normal one-on-one exhibition match. You have exploding cage death match. Now, you're in a cage. This is similar to what we have in the Fire Pro now. It's just a little tweaked now. Exploding cage, you whip your opponent into the cage. There's no ring ropes. They just immediately explode. They start bleeding. It's pinfall, obviously. And then there's a barbed wire death match with fluorescent light boards on the corners of the ring posts. Those are fun. Then there's gruesome fighting, which is an octagon MMA match. I have a gripe with that. I'll explain after. And then there's SWA rules match, which is a battle arts style, which means that there's a mix of pro wrestling and MMA. There's no fighting outside the ring, no pinfalls, and matches are determined by a 10 count or a KO. Now, personally, I never did these matches because I guess I didn't really know the rules of them, and I was kind of intimidated, like going into a match where I didn't know the rules of. But gruesome fighting. You're in an octagon. Unlike Fire Pro normally, that tilted 3/4 turned ring, you kind of have to learn the mechanics of to run diagonal, which you're really running straight. The octagon is looking straight on, but you're still using the same diagonal mechanics, and that just throws me for a freaking loop. And your moves are a little bit modified because it's a MMA match. I don't know. I'm not into these. You say that I should be because I love the UFC games, but this is just a whole different animal, and I don't like it.
I gotta say, though, this is a pretty good description. I'm all for it. Now, you said the one that you refuse to play is the gruesome fighting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one where the submissions are held for a little bit longer. The blows to the head are held a little bit longer.
Blows to the back of the head, like you're freaking Pride.
It's like Pride mode, yeah. It's nuts. All right, now the ring options that you have here, and there's quite a bit. are all fictional names but have real life counterparts, most of them. Now, the SWA is fictional. You have View Japan, which is New Japan.
They just swapped that word that sounded like the other word.
No, it gets better, Johnny. Don't worry. You have Olive Japan, which is...
I love you too.
I didn't say you. I didn't say Olive You Japan.
You should have.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have Olive Japan, which is All Japan. You have Supernova, which is Pro Wrestling Noah. I see what they're doing here. I see what they're doing here. You have Shin IW, which is FMW. Yuki Guni Puroresu, I'm going to say, which is supposed to be Michinoku Pro. You have Super Dragon Pavilion, which is Toriumon. I
actually like that name, Super Dragon Pavilion. That's cool.
Yeah. You have Zip Japan, which is Big Japan. Kansei. Okay, I'm just going to say Pro, because Puroresu is Pro. So it's Kansai Pro, which is Osaka Pro. You have WFW Pro, which is the WWF.
That was the name of my backyard fed. WFW, the Wicked Federation of Wrestling. FYI.
I didn't know that you grew up in Boston. Who knew?
It was wicked smart.
Wicked Federation.
Smart.
Yeah. Now we also have WWC Pro, which is WCW. And then I think this one may be the laziest attempt. Ready for this one?
Or is it the best attempt?
3A, which is AAA. Okay. Got it.
They're not wrong.
Gongs as rings. You have High Class, which is, I almost said pancreas, but it's not pancreas. It's pancreas. You have Batration? Batration? Bassitration? I think it's Batration, which is Battle Arts. You have Joshi, which is the women's based on the AJW ring. You have Blade, which is Pride, and you have UWH, which is the UWFI.
All right. Wow. Easy for you to say.
Listen, all I'm saying is that you're doing the roster this week.
The roster of over 250 wrestlers. You got it.
Speed version.
All right. I'll go through these arenas first. We have Nihon Budokan, which is Nippon Budokan. Sounds like a nursery rhyme. We have Spike Dome, which is the Tokyo Dome. Urakan Hall, which is Karakan Hall. Murakawa Gym, which is just a generic like indie gym. And you have USA, which is a WWF, WCW style set.
All right.
So, now this roster.
No. Wait. So,
you want to talk about these?
Well, no, I feel bad. The roster's really long, so I figured that we would split it. So, I mean, there's what, 200?
It's like 270.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. So, do we want to do video call rock paper scissors for who goes first?
All right. Ready?
All right, ready?
All right, so we're going rock, paper, scissors,
rock,
shoot.
Paper, scissors, rock, paper, scissors, shoot, and then, yeah.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoots.
Dude, everyone picks scissors first. You lose.
All right, well, you go.
All right, for the VJP, we have Fighter Yamato, who is I already screwed up.
Wow.
Fighter Yamato, who is Tatsumi Fujinami. Violence Kono, who is Masahiro Chono. Yujiro
Aizo Mizuki, who is supposed to be Kenzo Suzuki. You have Bone Cry, which again, another glorious pun. Don Fry.
And that's your 270 name roster. Jesus. Right. I'm out of breath.
Hold on.
Should I refill my beer?
Yeah, so take a break. Go refill your drink. I got to get more water. Good God.
What's up, Game Marks Podcast? This is Danny Tancredi, and I'm here with my brother Johnny Tancredi. And together we are the Cult Looking Podcast. Each week we bring to you the latest news and reviews on all things baseball collectibles.
From baseball cards and memorabilia to bobbleheads and stadium giveaways,
Each episode will discuss the newest products to hit the shelves of your local card store and your favorite ballparks around the country. Be sure to be following us on Instagram at The Caught Looking Podcast and on Twitter at CaughtLookingBB. New episodes drop every Friday, so be sure to tune in wherever great podcasts like this one are available. The Caught Looking Podcast. Don't get caught looking, start collecting.
All right, Georgie. Victory Road. Not the TNA event where Jeff Hardy screwed up his world title match with Sting. You choose your wrestler and you fight through the different organizations for each weight class to earn hidden wrestlers and additional items for use in Wrestler Edit. Now, on top of the roster, the Wrestler Edit mode, which we will get to in a little bit, has an insane amount of heads, and like you could get Triple H's head. There's just everyone in there. It's humongous. It's nuts. We are not going to name all those because it's that long, and we just don't have the lung capacity to do so. But you have your SWA Heavyweight Singles Championship, Heavyweight Tag, Junior Heavyweight Singles, Junior Heavyweight Tag, 6-Man Tag, and 8-Man Tag Championship, which you could run through with Victory Road. Now, some of your unlockables you can get Atsushi Onita by completing the story mode with Mitsuharu Misawa, Kaiji Moto, Shinya Hashimoto, and Masahiro Chono, and you can get Kazushi Sakuraba by completing the story mode with Atsushi Onita.
Are you done reading Japanese names?
Getting,
I feel like
I'm getting better.
Yeah, I just
but
feel
worse.
like we just we read more, and then we read the names again, and then we read that. Yeah, there's a lot of names.
A lot of names.
Now,
Want to take us through this edit mode?
yeah. So the edit mode is
Arguably, the edit mode's what keeps people coming back to the series.
it's like the bread and butter of the whole Fire Pro series. Like it's it's how you keep your rosters up to date. It's how you can throw in updated gear. Like you just said, you changed your gear, you got a haircut, you updated your Fire Pro character. Like that's maybe you're not able to jump onto the next version on the next gen console, and you're able to take that your roster and update it so that it's a little bit more current. But the features and the aspects of the game that you are able to edit, you can edit your wrestler, obviously. You can edit the group, which are the different like character groupings. Categories is the word that I was looking for. Thank you very much. You can edit your refs in case you want more, I guess...
More red.
Yeah, I was going to say more red. Because I was trying to think. Like, they have the generic New Japan. They have the black and white. I guess maybe if you wanted to put in like that classic blue WCW shirt in there, you could do that.
Oh, yeah. I hate that.
You can rename your wrestlers. You can change the wrestler group affiliation. And you can change the wrestlers' costumes in Wrestler Recostume.
Did I tell you about the glitch that happened in my game? It actually happened on stream. So if you watch the YouTube back where I streamed Johnny Fire Pro, it happened. But I downloaded a bunch of WWE wrestlers, put them in a WWE category, and as I would R and L to the next category, it would just skip past it. Like it would just, you'd see it come up, but it would just go past it, and I just couldn't stop it. And I had to delete the whole thing and re-input them in. It was super weird. I don't know if it was one wrestler screwing it up. I thought then maybe the name WWE was blocked, so I changed it to E. I don't know what happened, but at some point I just scrapped the whole thing. I redid it. I put everyone back in, and now it's fine. I don't know. Super weird.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about this story mode a little bit?
Yeah. So the story mode. This is the return of the story mode from Fire Pro Wrestling D, where it was not included. I like how, just Fire Pro Z, D, A, B,
yeah, they go
Q,
through the
R.
whole... That's why there's so many Fire Pro games. They just keep going through the...
It's actually kind of a cool story because you follow the career of an up-and-coming grappler in a grueling Japanese wrestling circuit, and initially you have 4 choices, who are Mitsuharu Misawa, a.k.a. Mitsuhuri Hakawa, Kaiji Muto, who is Ken Shudo, Masahiro Chono, who is Violent Kono, and Shinya Hashimoto, who is Crusher Hatamoto. And those are your 4 selections. And same with all the Fire Pro games, the wrestlers are fictional, obviously, but it's obvious, very obvious, who's who just by looking at them. If you check out our Clash at the Feast video, you can see us going through the roster. Like, oh, this is Ken Shamrock. Oh, this is Goldberg. You encounter many of these fictional wrestlers in the story mode. And some of the stories actually resemble some real-life wrestling encounters, depending on either your win or your loss. And in story mode, you will face several tough opponents, such as Naohiro Takada. I don't know. I couldn't say that. But win or lose, it will change your story, which is awesome. I love branching stories, very, as I would say, No Mercy style, because as far back as I remember, that was the first game I got amorphed into. Is that a word? Amorphed? Am I making up words now?
I'm trying to figure out what word you're actually trying to say.
I don't know. That's the first game I got engulfed into where there was a substantial story mode. And
is that the word that you were trying to say?
I'm cutting that whole part. It doesn't matter. So this is just a very cool feature of this game, and it gives it some stability, gives it some life, gives it some replay, because you have 4 choices. You know, you lose, maybe next time you want to win. You do a different outcome. You're a heel, you're a face. I love this.
It's awesome. I think arguably one of the more underrated features. Like, there's so much hype around the edit mode. Like, that's the thing that keeps the game current if you're willing to put in the effort. But I feel like it is, like, the story mode is always the, like, unsung hero of the Fire Pro games. Like, it's good in this
game. That's what I look for in any game.
Oh, yeah. But I feel like, especially with Fire Pro, like, everyone talks about how great how huge the roster always is and how cool the moves always look for the graphic style, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But no one ever talks about, replayability in terms of the story mode, because, game developers take time out to come up with compelling story mode for the Fire Pro games, which is cool. Fire Pressing World, great story mode. Like,
yeah,
so cool. I love it.
I'm still trying to get my junior heavyweight title, but we'll get there one day.
I don't remember where I am in mine, but I've been playing it like a year longer than you have. So like
but like I said, it's a lot of text, and to me, that's like a little bit of a turnoff, so I don't play it that much.
Or you just hit start and you skip all the text. Not that I do that.
I gotta know what's happening, though.
I definitely don't do that. But hey, let's talk about this art style, because it's Fire Pro, and everybody loves those graphics.
It's the same. It's point blank, it's the same. It's never changed. You hit me with the DDT, and I was like, I played a match an hour ago on Fire Pro World. It was the same exact DDT. Yeah. Same sprites, same everything, same animation, same ring. The only thing that I thought was different and a little bit unique was the entrance. It wasn't the overhead. So in Fire Pro World, the entrance is the same perspective as the ring, and the camera just shifts over to the ring.
Yeah.
And it's not a full, like, grand entrance, where in this game, you get the pyro, you get a big entrance, you start on the stage, it flashes to the ramp, you get in the ring, you do a little taunt. I think the proportions were a little off over there, but I get what they were going for. I appreciate it, but I do like the way they do it now instead.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like really the only thing that's evolved over the course of the game's lifespan, is that they changed the animations of the entrances, but and obviously the sprite graphics have gotten better in terms of like texture, but they're not reinventing the wheel. It's not like it's, all of a sudden Fire Pro World comes out and it's like, oh my God, it's now fully 3D models and everything's different. Yeah. It's like not a Fire Pro game. Like it
wouldn't be the same.
I'm going to say a sentence at the end of this episode that pretty much is going to sum up Fire Pro for everybody pretty much. But
so I actually noticed today how in World, how like shiny and like nice Okada's tights looked. Like they just had that certain glow, that certain texture, where if you go back to like what Liger's, or whatever the hell his name is in this game, Liger's in Z looks like, you could see the shine, but it's not like that texture. So that's cool to see how that developed, because you don't expect that out of like a 2D sprited game.
Yeah. But I don't know about you, but this artwork is a little different than I'm used to for a Fire Pro game. Do you wanna hop on over and talk about this artwork?
Yeah, do you have any idea what this actually says?
I tried to Google Translate this, and it's not working. You want to give it a shot too?
It won't work. I think it must be handwritten or something. I'm assuming it says Fire Pro Wrestling because there's a little Z under it, but then there's also Fire Pro Wrestling Z logo under it. So
Well,
I don't know.
I'm assuming that the text on the bottom says Fire Pro Wrestling, and then there's the English translation of Fire Pro Wrestling. I want to know what that handwritten text on the top says. This may be a question for our buddy Justin Leeper.
Oh yeah, we could ask him. He might know.
It says, "You're not going to believe this. There's no way it says this."
What is?
So first it said, "My Neighbor Totoro," which is a movie. Then it said, "Thank you, Totoro." And now it says, no, it's changing.
Good old Google Translate.
That Kasu ni Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro. It says My Neighbor Totoro.
Could it be because it's written up and down, not left and right? That
I
it's
don't
hard
know.
To see?
This is a question for Justin Leeper. Maybe he and his wonderful wife can translate this, because that's what they did one time. We designed artwork. He showed it to his wife, and it turned out that my translation was all wrong, which was wonderful and just added to more of the wonderful comedics of this podcast. But
then the next one you put in like "Hi Justin" or something there in Japanese. I don't know if you noticed or not.
He didn't see it. I was very sad. We're not going to talk about that. All right, so I guess it's time to hop into a little Did You Know? Did you know that this game marks the debut of Shinsuke Nakamura and Low-Ki in a Fire Pro video game, with Western stars such as Samoa Joe and Steve Corino being included in the game as well?
Did you know Fire Pro Wrestling Z runs from $7 to $50 on eBay, with the box set posted for $80?
Did you know that there is a Fire Pro Wrestling Z box set? Comes with a 336-page history booklet and a Fire Pro Wrestling ring bell keychain. Kind of want that keychain.
All right, cool. Let's take a look at this real quick, because this box set kind of resembles the Raw Xbox one that I have. It's got the typical, it's got the big box. It's a little different artwork. It says Japanese letters big, but then box under it. So I don't... And then the Fire Pro Wrestling Z logo. But yeah, it's got a little ring bell.
All Japanese products from here on out.
Yeah, I don't know. But this book, it doesn't have a cover to it. It just looks like I thought it was a journal type book at first, but it's a 336-page history booklet, I guess, on Japanese wrestling. I'm not sure. I don't have this thing.
This is the 15th anniversary of Fire Pro.
Oh, okay.
That's what this box
That's
set is
cool.
for.
I'm going to try to buy this. It obviously comes with the game, and I can't tell what the other thing is. It looks like one of those things that opens the paint for you. I don't know what it is. We'll post a picture of this.
I think it might be a bottle opener. Or I don't know.
Maybe it rings the ring bell? Who knows?
Well, one ended in August, and it sold for $97 plus $35. It's $35 shipping.
No, thank you there.
All right, Johnny. We read an exhaustingly long roster. There was a million arenas. We talked about a box set. Give me some R&R. I need some ratings and reviews, bud.
All right, George, brace yourself, because all I have is Glitch Wave with a 3.5 out of 5. That's it. That's all I could find.
Cool. All right.
It's very hard finding just these all Japanese games because this was not a United States game. No American port for it. So I don't know. I couldn't find anything else.
All right. Well, you know what? Looking at the time here, and I think that you and I really need to kind of get our reviews in there. So I think it's time to rate the games.
The game!
All right, George Feast. Fire Pro Wrestling Z. Would you play it forever?
Woo!
Or future endeavor?
You're fired!
I mean, we want long answer or short answer. I feel like there's...
You do you, boo-boo.
All right, I'm gonna say my sentence that I said I was gonna touch on before. I'm gonna play it forever.
Woo!
But here's the thing. It's a Fire Pro game, looks like a Fire Pro game, plays like a Fire Pro game. When it comes to these games, you either love the Fire Pro series or you hate it. And I happen to be one of those people that the first time I picked it up, I liked it. It was different. It was slightly challenging. And I don't think I've played a bad one. Granted, I haven't played some of the super, super early ones that are on, I think the series goes all the way back to the original Nintendo or the Famicom. So I'm very excited to eventually get back to playing one of those. But yeah, for this, keeping it simple, just gonna say that I'm gonna play it forever.
All right.
I'm gonna butt in before I ask Johnny what he thinks, but just did a quick little research to make sure that I'm not wrong. The first Fire Pro game is called Fire Pro Wrestling Combination Tag, and that was released June 22nd, 1989 for the PC. So very excited to try and somehow figure out how the hell we're going to play that one. But Johnny Clash, with that, I throw it over to you, my good friend, Fire Pro Wrestling Z. Are you going to future endeavor or play it forever? I flipped it on you.
Flipped it on me. Okay. You trying to throw me off or something?
Yeah, see if you're going to break the
Looney
streak.
Tunes? Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, rabbit season. Ha, guy, one of those.
Yeah.
Okay. Fire Pro Wrestling
Rabbit season. If you're gonna say it, you gotta say it right. It's with
Relax.
the W.
Relax. Okay. Fire Pro Wrestling Z. Like I said, this is basically the same engine, the same game, but I future endeavored Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, which is a newer one, more updated. I feel like I would be doing that one a disservice if I said play it forever on this one. But at the same time, I think there's a certain point where every Fire Pro game I will play. So I'm kind of torn here because I don't know if I would just play the newer ones or if I would ever go back and play this one now that we are capable of playing it. I don't know. But I think I'm going to say future endeavor.
You're fired!
Just because I know what's to come. And also, Fire Pro, something really bothers me about not having real wrestlers on a roster. So this way, when we get to like World and it's actually licensed by New Japan, it's like, oh, this is Okada, this is Kenny Omega, this is Zack Sabre Jr.
Johnny, there's so many Fire Pro games.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say future endeavor just because I'm gonna play the newer one. I don't know. This is. I'm torn here. I had fun with you, but like you said last week, having fun with you and going back and playing this on my own are two completely different things.
Johnny,
What?
shot in the dark. If you had to take a guess how many no Googling,
Oh god.
give me a number of how many Fire Pro games you think there are.
Well, there's Fire Pro A, B, C, D. I'm gonna go like 47.
There are 29.
Jesus.
We've played 3 on
Good
the
for
pod.
them.
We've played
Good
4
for
in
them.
life. We've played 3 on the podcast.
Good for them.
If we played a different one each week, that's 29 weeks.
Jesus. Oh.
Good God.
All right,
All right.
so last week I thought you broke the streak of the Play It Forever, but you flipped it on me and you hit Play It Forever last week. After all, I broke the streak this week.
You broke
I future
the Game
endeavored,
Marks
you
Pod
played it forever.
undefeated streak at WrestleMania.
Now, we haven't disagreed on a game this year yet since ECW Hardcore Revolution.
Wow.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, we have the same taste.
Speaking about disagreeing, Johnny, I think it's time that we throw it over and talk about our weekly tournament that we call Clash at the Feast. All right, Johnny, take us through Clash at the Feast.
Oh, you want me to do it? Okay. So, Fire Pro Wrestling. All right, first of all, for those who watch our YouTube videos, we are deeply sorry
boy.
this week.
Oh, boy.
This is a Japanese only title. We had to play it by we went through our means of playing it. We'll just say that. And
By any means
We had
necessary?
we had some rendering issues. You might not see a ring for two of the matches, but the show must go on, as they say in wrestling. And match number 1, George picked who we think was Ken Shamrock versus Bill Goldberg. Now, this was just a normal one-on-one match, and I won as Goldberg with a simple little axe handle to the back in the most George Feast winning fashion ever. Now, we go to match number 2. This was what? This was a cage death match, I think?
No, this was the this was Bam Bam versus Liger in the
Exploding cage, right?
no. The what's it called? The death match.
Yeah, that's what I said the first time.
No, the cage match is what the final match was. This
That's
was
what
the
I said
thing with
the second time.
with the concrete turnbuckle things.
Sure, George, sure. Okay, so it was Bam Bam versus Liger, and George put me away as Bam Bam. I don't know. He had a really cool moveset. Bam Bam just destroyed me. I wasn't even mad. It was actually
man.
kind of mesmerizing watching like him do all of his signature moves. So then our third match, our final match, was an exploding cage death match. Now, if you're going to go into an exploding cage, who are you going to pick? Bob Sapp and Mirko Krokop. That's who we were.
Absolutely.
George was Bob Sapp. I was Mirko Krokop, or whoever their likenesses are named.
Boss Bruton's not in this game, so I couldn't beat Boss Bruton. So
And as Mirko Krokop, I got on top of Bob Sapp. I just started laying in those hammer fists. George, his body was lifeless, like a little rag doll. And your winner for October, Johnny Clash. Play my music.
Not everything's made to last. This is my life. This is my life. This is my time. This is where I shine.
well, let me tell you something. Did you ever happen to watch that Family Guy episode with
Spider-Man, where everybody gets one.
everybody gets one, Johnny? There you
I
go.
don't know. Johnny Clash is on the up and up. It's funny because ever since we switched to 2 out of 3, it's been me winning the games. And it seemed like last week, even though I did pick PlayStation 2, you kind of baited me in with my favorite console. And then it was a Fire Pro series. You thought you had me. But Johnny Fire Pro reigns supreme, baby.
I'm gonna find in our text chat when we started year 2, and I said, "Hey, let's do a month thing," and your response was, "But if you win 6 months in a row, the rest of the year means nothing." You were so down on yourself and had no confidence.
Well, how did year 1 go?
I don't remember.
You won. What do you mean you don't remember? The belt's sitting behind you right now. I see it.
Oh, because I am your reigning,
Oh, my God. I walked right into it.
defending Clash at the Feast champion? Oh, must have slipped my mind, Johnny. I forgot. But
what are we playing next week?
so I think that we're gonna.
It doesn't matter what we're playing next week, jabroni.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks podcast. No, so I thought that was kind of fun, where I just gave you consoles and you picked the console and we played the game. So I've got a few different consoles lined up here. I actually have 5 options for you to pick from.
5?
5.
Okay.
So you have the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
You have the Neo Geo Pocket. You have the original Nintendo. You have the Sony PlayStation, and you have Sega CD.
Oh my God, okay. Have we... Oh, man. I'm trying to think what we've played this year. I want to give it a little balance. I think we go back to the original Nintendo here.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, next week on the podcast, we are
Famous
playing
last words.
Tecmo World Wrestling.
All right.
Now, this goes up there. This was released in 1990, and for a lot of people, this is right up there with pro wrestling as one of those classic, titles that a lot of wrestling fans grew up on. I have never played it, so I'm very excited to see what this game's like. And yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I have no words, but sure, George, take us home.
All right. Well, barring any audio glitches and hoping you didn't, shit the bed on audio on editing this again.
This is way above my pay grade.
Listen, you did something last week and messed it up. I didn't do anything. I just upload artwork, man. That's my job.
Just enough, Georgie.
No, with that, I haven't got to say it in a while, but until you prove me wrong, Johnny, I'm just still really good at video games. So you may have won October, but I still got 2 months and an entire year on you. So with that, guys, it's going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks podcast. Please check out our Pro Wrestling Tees store at prowrestlingtees.com/GameMarksPod. It is currently the best way besides listening to support the podcast, and be sure to follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Leave us a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to wherever great podcasts can be found. I didn't say this last week, and I felt kind of weird, so I'm going to bring it back. Wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance, be safe. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us this week. Johnny, say goodbye.
Game over. Marks, never trust George.
Game Marks podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks podcast every single Monday.